Yes, I welcome you to this next lesson. From what we covered yesterday in P.4 English, it's term 1 work. Yesterday, we had looked at a brief introduction to comparison of adjectives. I said yesterday we looked at a brief introduction to comparison of adjectives, and the teacher promised to give us further guidance on how we can compare adjectives. In those degrees we talked about. Which degrees were they? They are the very ones we are going to continue looking at today. And these are the positive degree, the comparative degree, and the superlative degree. So there are different rules we can follow when forming comparative and superlative degrees. Here, in our lesson today, we are going to look at those different rules, which adjective falls under which category. So we have the first category of adjectives that are compared or that form their comparative and superlative degrees by simply adding ER and EST. Yes, we looked at a few of them yesterday. Here, we have the details in this lesson. We are going to form the comparative degree of these given adjectives by simply adding ER. After forming the comparative by adding ER, you will go to the superlative and still add EST as shown in the instructions. We have to really understand this. After understanding, you will be able to apply it. Let's try with example 1, which is small. When you look at these adjectives in this list, the ones that form the comparative by simply adding ER to the positive degree of the adjective, they are in the same category. They are one-syllable adjectives. In other words, some books call them, or some teachers call them, short adjectives. They are short adjectives. We have small, which changes to comparative and becomes smaller. Smaller is formed from small. So you write small, then add those two letters, ER. Yes, see the word we have formed, smaller. We go to its superlative. In the superlative, we are going to add 3 letters, EST, as the rule says. Small, smaller, then write small, as I have done, with this double L at the end. What are we going to add? Bring these 3 letters at the end of small, ER, not ER, EST. Meaning you have formed the word smallest here. So smallest is the superlative form of small. We got the next one, which is slow. We are going to do some of them together, then the rest. You'll be able to complete that list as it appears on the board and as it appears in your workbook. We have slow. You write the word slow or the positive degree, which is slow. After writing slow, what does the rule say? Add ER to form the comparative. ER. So which word are we formed? You'll notice you have formed a new word, which is slower. So slower is the comparative degree of the adjective slow. What is its superlative? In the superlative the teacher has just told you, simply add EST to the root word. Which root word? Or the original word? The original word is the adjective slow. Write slow. S-L-O-W. After writing slow, next add E as shown above. S-T. So finally you have formed its superlative, which is slowest. So you have slow, slower, slowest, small, smaller, smallest. You are going to try out these other adjectives where we have clean, form the comparative following the same two examples you see above. Form its superlative following still the same examples you have been given in that list. We are going to form clean and its comparative, the comparative of clean and its superlative, then clever, tall, short, low, cheap, smart, cold, warm, old, and old. The teacher has repeated the word old. It's not by mistake, but by design. Let's once again move together with a comparative of old. Old has been repeated for one reason. It has two comparative degrees, and it has two superlative degrees. Let's look at them. We have its comparative first. Old can change to older, just like I showed you in small. Old, finished, add er, and from the word older. That's one of its comparatives. The other comparative for old is strange. E is a strange word, very new word. L, D, entirely different word. E, R. The word is elder. So from old, we can use elder as the comparative. Still from old, let's go back to old one. Old one changes to older. It can change to oldest in the superlative. Old, E, S, T. That is oldest. Next is old again, where we have elder. Guess what the spelling for the superlative is? E, L, D, E, S, T. Hope we are moving together. I have formed the word eldest as the superlative degree of old. You may be wondering, how come, or when do we use older? And when do we use elder? When do we use oldest? And when do we use eldest? The truth is, we can use this one within any sentence. You can construct any sentence and use older. This one is not limited in use. This one is not limited in use. I'll write something here. Then here, you only use elder. Let me not write here, because I have enough space this side. Let I put what I want to emphasize here. We use elder for family members. In other words, members of the same family. Members of the same family. For example, who is your elder brother? When you hear the word brother, you're not talking about people who are from the same family. Members from the same family, we can use the word elder. And it's the superlative rather, eldest. Who is your eldest sister? Mary is my elder sister. We go. What about old? When we use older and not elder, the truth is, allow me right here again because I have enough space. From old, we have older, the comparative, but this one is used for all kinds of sentences where you feel like using the comparative. All sentences can use older, as long as the adjective given in brackets is old. We can use older, yes, in any sentence. I'll give you an example. I'll write it here, this way I have some space. Jimmy is my dash brother. Even in brackets, I have the word old. I can use the word elder or older. Check. We have either older or elder in this kind of answer. However, when we come to other sentences, like the one that requires than, Jimmy is dash than his brother. I want you to listen to me very attentively. This part is very crucial. We have in brackets this word old, the adjective old. Jimmy is dash than his brother. We may think of what the teacher told us in the explanation. We have family members, for example, a brother or a sister or a parent. By this time, because of the word than, the teacher will not accept the answer you are going to write as elder. But the same teacher said we are supposed to use elder with family members. Yes, 100% right. But the moment we add in this word than, we are kicking out the word elder. Never use elder when there is than. The teacher has told you we can use older in all kinds of sentences that require a comparative. So this sentence cannot allow the word elder in it, but can allow the word older within it. So we can use older. Jimmy is older than his brother. Jimmy is older than his brother. Why are we not taking elder, yet we have members of the same family? Because we have the word than. Than does not welcome elder before it. When we use elder then, only use elder when you're talking about ages in the same family, and the next word after that elder is a noun, elder brother, elder sister. But still you can use older brother or older sister for members of the same family. Hope you have understood that, and that's the reason I repeated the word old. I wrote it twice because it has two comparative forms and two superlative forms. We are done with that list. Hope you take time to complete this list with all the necessary answers. What is easy to do is follow the rule. Read, understand it, follow it, and you'll find out that everything is very easy. Simple. Write the adjective, add ER. Write the adjective, add EST. Success as you complete those lists. We have the next category of adjectives. Which adjectives are these? They are those that form the comparative and the superlative by replacing the last Y with IER. That's for the comparative, obviously. And IEST for the superlative. They are adjectives ending in Y, but they replace that last Y with IER to form the comparative and IEST to form the superlative. The list is also given here. We have the positive degree, the comparative degree, and the superlative degree. If the positive is happy, check. Happy ends in Y. If the positive is angry, there's a similarity to happy. Angry also ends in Y. Dirty ends in Y. Tidy ends in Y. We have easy ending in Y, and all other adjectives as seen in the list. What happens to the last Y? Normally, you're going to see another similarity. All end in Y, that is one. The other similarity is the last Y is coming after a consonant. A consonant, we have the English alphabet with 26 letters. But out of the 26 letters, 5 are vowels, whereas 21 letters are consonants. So the English alphabet has 21 consonants. If there are 21 consonants, and the teacher is telling us the last word in each of these adjectives is coming after a consonant, that letter is among those 21 letters I'm talking about, except the vowels. Which vowels? A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. If you take away those letters from our alphabet, all the remaining letters are consonant letters. So those are the letters, the 21 letters that are coming before the last Y. In all these adjectives, what happens? How do we form the comparatives of those adjectives? Let's see. Following the rule, remember, replace the last Y with IER as we have read in the previous part. So we write H, A, double P. The last Y will be thrown away completely. After throwing it away, what are we going to do? Replace it with I, as guided by the teacher, E, and R. Finally, you have formed the comparative of happy, yes, successful, and that is happier, happier. Let's go to the superlative, which requires us to add I-E-S-T, I-E-S-T, after throwing away the last Y. Happy, you write happy, but without that last Y, H-A-P. Remove the last word, but you're going to replace it with a substitute, and that is I, E, S, and T. So finally, you have a new word, and that new word is the superlative degree of happy. Which word is that? Happiest. Happiest. So happy changes to happier and happiest in the comparative and the superlative respectively. We have angry, try it, following exactly the same rule. We have, let's try this one together. Dizzy. Yes, I feel dizzy today. I feel dizzy today. Today I am dash than I was yesterday. Today I am dash than I was yesterday. Dizzy. Form the comparative by following the rule. D-I-double-Z. We don't need the last word like the teachers just told us. But what do we need after throwing it away? We need I, E, and letter R. Finally, we have formed the comparative of this, which is dizzier. Dizzier. Yes. From dizzy, dizzier to D-I-double-Z. What did the teacher say in the rule? Replace the last Y with what we have done here. I, E, S, and T. Surely, if you follow this, everything is going to be very easy, and then you're going to successfully complete this list. We have some challenging words down here. When you read them, you find they are very strange in the list. We have ugly, ugly, a P.4 child. The word ugly is not that strange. Ugly, the opposite of beautiful is ugly. Still, the opposite of handsome is ugly. Okay, under ugly, we have a strange word, friendly, a friendly person. We have friendly pets at home, those that treat you like you are their closest friends. Deadly is the next word. Next is costly, maybe even hilly, even thirsty. We are going to do 2 of these words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. I want to choose 2. The rest, you'll be able to deal with them properly. I want to choose this one. Which other one should I choose? Maybe then costly. We are going to work out them together, following the same rule the teacher has given us. Friendly. Form the comparative of friendly. The teacher has told you, replace the last y with IER as we did in busy, with IER as we did in happy. So friendly, you write FRIENDL. We said replace, meaning remove the last y. So what do you do after removing it? Throw there three letters, I, E, and R. Finally, you have the word friendlier. Very strange. Friendlier. Puppies are friendlier than kittens. Very correct. Puppies are friendlier than kittens. Yeah. After friendlier, go to the superlative and write FRIENDL. Remember we said we don't need the last y. Why? It is coming after a consonant in this adjective in the positive degree. But much as we don't need it, it should have other letters to replace it. In the superlative, we'll have I, E, S, T. Replacing the last y. Finally, have the word friendliest. I repeat, friendliest. So from friendly, friendlier to friendliest. Correct. Though strange. Now we have costly. Costly from the comparative with me C-O-S-T-L. What happens after before the last y? Throw it away, replace it with I-E-R. Finally have that word, costlier. Go to the superlative, apply the same technique or the same trick we have applied in busy, happy, and friendly. So we form costliest. C-O-S-T-L-I-E-S-T. Costliest. Costly, what does costly mean? Costly means expensive. Expensive. If something is expensive, it means it costs a lot of money. Expensive things cost a lot of money. So expensive things or expensive items are costly items. So they are costlier than other items, or they are the costliest items we can talk about. So with these 1, 2, 3, 4 examples showing all serious children who have been following, will find no headache, no problem completing this list in the comparative and the superlative lists. This is work for P4 term 1. You'll find that on page 6 in our workbooks. Page 6. I'm saying we are looking at another way of forming the comparatives and the superlatives of different adjectives. This time we have a new rule to follow, and this rule is simply doubling the last consonant before adding ER and EST. What does the teacher say? You're going to double. To double is to make the last consonant appear twice. If you've not understood the meaning of consonant, it means you missed something in the previous, this same lesson, in fact, because it is what I've been explaining about. The consonant is one of those 21 letters when you remove the vowels. In the alphabet we have 26 letters, but when you take away the 5 vowels, all the remaining letters share the same name, consonant. Okay, doubling the last consonant before adding R, ER, and EST. Let's look at them. We have the positive degree, the comparative degree, and the superlative degree. From big, what's the comparative? BI. What does the teacher told us? To double the last consonant. The last consonant is G. We're going to write it twice. That's doubling it. BI double G. Before adding ER. I've already doubled. Now I am free to add ER. I have successfully formed the comparative form of adjective big as bigger. Bigger. After bigger, we got the superlative, which is BI double G. The teacher has told you to double the last consonant. Having doubled it, what next? EST should be added. EST. And your word is biggest. Biggest. We have hot. Do the same. H-O-T. H-O-T. After writing H-O-T, the teacher has told you to double the last consonant before adding E and R to form the word hot. Hot. Orange is hotter than water. Orange is hotter than water. Then hot, double T, E-S-T to form the superlative, as we have seen in the instructions. From there, let's form the comparative and the superlative of thin. T-H-I-N. We double the last consonant, which is N. Double it before adding ER. Why ER, not EST? Because we are in the comparative degree. ER. Finally, we have formed the word thinner. Then the superlative, thinnest. T-H-I-N-E-S-T. If you are following me step by step, you'll discover these things are easier than reciting the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, whatever. So, very easy if you are following the teaching. Next category is that of irregular adjectives. Irregular adjectives. But before you go, or before you follow me to irregular adjectives, please complete that list above successfully. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus these 5, those are 10 words for you to fill in and complete the list. So we have irregular adjectives. After answering filling in all the gaps in the above activity. Irregular adjectives, what are irregular adjectives? They are those that form their comparative and superlative forms without following any specific order. What are we saying? They do not follow any specific order. They just change. So here there is no clear rule you can follow. You read the positive degree is totally different from the comparative degree. And the comparative degree is totally different from the superlative. Those ones are also there. Here there is some bit of similarity where you give you the rule, add this, then add this. Drop this, drop that, and add this. Here, no specific rule. You are just going to see how they are formed. Follow the teacher attentively. Yeah, so here we are with a list of irregular adjectives. We have good, we have bad, ill, many, much, little, far, another far, plus well. Like the teacher has just told you, we do not follow any specific order. You will just see them changing strangely or in a very new way you may not have imagined. From good, the comparative form of good is B-E-T-T-E-R, and that is better. Then the superlative from good is best. Best. So we have good, better, best. We have bad, change to comparative. a totally different word. Worse. Worse. W-O-R-S-E. Worse is the comparative from bad. Then the superlative from bad. From bad we have worse than worst. Worst. These ones we are going to move together. You have to master them right from P4. Better you go to P5 when you just sing them. Yeah, the teacher taught me, I remember what he explained in the YouTube lesson. Because this work will be repeated in P6, P7, even P5. Master it as far as possible to make your future English a little easier. Borrowed the comparative of bad, and that is worse. They share the same word. Ill, worse. What happens here? From ill to worse to worst. W-O-R-S-T. Worst. We have many, which changes to M-O-R-E, and that's more. It's comparative. The superlative of many is M-O-S-T. Most. Next is much. From much, just like ill and bad, shares the same comparative as many. However, much is used with uncountable nouns, things you cannot count, like water, salt, sugar, dust, air. You can't say there's many air today. No, there's a lot of air today. Other uncountable nouns also take much. With countable nouns or things that you can count, you obviously use many before them. But with much, still a comparative is the same as that of many, and is more. Superlative, they share the same word, most. So you have this. Many, more, most. Much, more, most. Much for uncountable nouns. Many for nouns that are countable or countable nouns. Little. Little has its comparative as L-E-S-S. Less. Then its superlative is L-E-A-S-T. Least. Least. Next we go to F-A-R. What is far? Far has two comparatives, that's why I repeated it. We have far, which changes to father, F-A, spelling, and not your male parent, but F-A-R plus T-H-E-R. I know you have a father at home, but that's not the father I'm talking about. Your father has only one R. Our father, which is a comparative of has that letter R repeated here and this side at the end. From far, father gives the superlative. It should be far, T-H-E-S-T, farthest. Far, father, farthest. Farthest with F-A-R-T-H-E-S-T. Then father, F-A-R-T-H-E-R. Next, another comparative from far, and that is still father. Father, but a different spelling. F-U-R-T-H-E-R. Here we have A. It's not difference, just a slight difference. We have letter A. Here we have letter U in the second position. But the same pronunciation. They share the same pronunciation. Father, father. From far to father, where A has changed to U, then to farthest. F-U-R-T-H-E-S-T. The word is farthest. Hope you are following and learning. Remember, these ones we are looking at are irregular adjectives. Irregular adjectives, forming their comparative degrees and superlative degrees in an entirely different way. No specific rule we are following. We have well as our last word in this list. Well is not an adjective, but an adverb. From is, we have adverbs in English. Adverbs are words that modify verbs or actions. They tell us more about a verb. That's what adverbs do. We'll look at adverbs in other lessons ahead. But I'm teaching you well, which is an adverb, yet we're looking at adjectives. Why? It is formed from good and it has the same comparative and the same superlative as good. Well, like the teacher has told you, has its comparative as better. Better. Its superlative, again, is similar to that of good, like I've told you, and that is best. So we say, well, better, best. Well, better, best. Let's go through the list. Follow me as we read the comparative forms and the superlative forms and the positive forms of these different adjectives, the irregular adjectives. We have good, better, best. Bad, worse, worst. Ill, worse, worst. Many, more, most. Much, more, most. Little, less, least. Far, farther, farthest. Master the spelling, F-A-R. Far, farther, farthest. Far, again, farther, farthest. And lastly, well, which is an adverb, we say formed from good, is well, better, best. That's the end of our list of irregular adjectives. Next, we have long adjectives. Yes, when you go to upper primary, they will be telling you there are two-syllable adjectives. Adjectives that have two syllables. But for our level, we are going to use this word long. They are long adjectives. In fact, when you look at them in their list, as we are going to see, they are longer than the normal adjectives you have been looking at. So for long adjectives, add more and most to form the comparative and the superlative respectively. Respectively. What does respectively mean? The order doesn't change. Teacher, which order? The order of more and most. The order of comparative and superlative. So we are meaning more for the comparative, then most for the superlative. Hope you have got me. That's the name of the word, respectively. So we are adding more to form the comparative and most to form the superlative. Let's go through the list and you see what happens. We have the positive degree here, the comparative degree, and lastly the superlative degree. In the positive degree, first of all, we have active, then beautiful, generous, faithful, quarrelsome, dangerous, sensible, important, ignorant, handsome, yes. In handsome, letter D, like we said, is not pronounced. It is a silent letter. We have handsome, not handsome, but handsome. Careless, interesting, mind the spelling, interesting. Letter E, which is silent, must be written interesting, interesting. We read INTR, but we skip this much as we write it. So in reading, interesting. In writing, interesting. Interesting, boring is our last adjective. Let's look at the comparative degrees of these different adjectives. We have just mastered our rule, which is use more for the comparative and more and most for the superlative. More comparative, most superlative. So we have active. What happens? Where does more come? Where does more appear in the comparative degree of active? It comes at the beginning. M-O-R-E. More. More what? More active. Then the superlative is, the rule says we add most. Finished. Then what else? The word, the root word, or the positive degree itself, which is active. More active, most active. Is active, more active, most active. Then beautiful. I'll leave that for you. Let's go to the longest word, the longest word in the list, and that is quarrelsome. You have seen it, quarrelsome. We are forming its comparative. The rule told us to use more at the beginning. Then you add the root word or the positive degree, which is quarrelsome. Don't forget that double arrow. Quarrelsome. And the superlative, which is most quarrelsome. Most quarrelsome. Hey, quarrelsome kids. No one likes to live with quarrelsome children, but who would want to live with more quarrelsome children, or the most quarrelsome child in the class? You can now mention the most quarrelsome child in your class. Most quarrelsome, more quarrelsome, superlative, and comparative. Using the same technique or the same guideline you have got from the teacher in this lesson, I wish you success as you complete this list with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, you reach a sum of 22 answers. 11 plus 11, you get 22 answers. I'll be happy to see you with 22 ticks in that part. That's the end of our lesson today. It was about comparison of adjectives, and in comparison we have been looking at the 3 different degrees. I wish you success as you attempt all the questions we have given you in this activity. I remain Teacher Mande, P.4 English. Thank you for watching.